Yeah.
Okay.
So, Carla,
Rolling.
Carla Maldonado, Carla Maldonado es la segunda generación de Alcanzando Metas Foundation y bueno, el día de hoy nos va a platicar un poco sobre su vida. So, you can say your name.
I'm Carla Maldonado.
Where did you born?
I was born in Washington, D.C. to Salvadorian parents.
Did your parents go to college?
No, my mom went to high school and finished high school, but my father had to stop school to work.
When I met you, you went to, what is the name of the high school you went, and what kind of curricular activities you did there?
I went to Theodore Roosevelt Senior High School in Washington, D.C., and I was a part of Gear Up, which was a 4-year mentoring program, and I was a part of Alcanzando Metas since 2007 to 2008.
So when you finished college, when we were in Alcanzando Metas Foundation, what kind of activities you really enjoyed doing there?
We went to several field trips, college tours, getting ourselves exposed to different college atmospheres locally and out of state. We went to Philadelphia to the Society of Hispanic Engineers, and we were able to see a lot of different ships and things of that nature and be able to communicate with different engineers at different kind of levels.
So what, do you think that Alcanzando Metas gave you kind of guidance to what would be the benefits with the Alcanzando Metas? So Alcanzando Metas give you some kind, what will the help that the foundation gave you to you?
Alcanzando Metas gave me support. I didn't know how college was going to be like. So being able to go to a college campus and being able to be supported by people that were at my high school was great. And also being supported to not only just be the first to go to college, but to continue providing support for years that came after us.
So what college did you go?
I went to Penn State University.
¿El sonido no está bien?
El pelo está golpeando el mic. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's not your fault.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's talk about when you went to college. What college did you go? What did you study? And how did you were able to go to college?
Okay, so I went to Penn State University. I went to a college tour in 2006, sorry. And ever since then, I knew I wanted to go to Penn State. So I made sure I did everything that I had to do to get to Penn State. And so being able to be supported by Alcanzando Metas and Gear Up, I was able to maintain my grades, do extracurricular activities, do above community service hours that I needed to do in order to meet Penn State's credentials. So once I was at Penn State, I chose to, I was psychology and in the middle of business, and so I kind of went back and forth with majors, but then I finally wanted to do finance, and so I decided to do finance and international business during my time at Penn State.
Did you do any other extracurricular activities when you were in Penn State?
Yes, so I was like vice president of the Nittany Club at our campus. Penn State has multiple campuses, and I went to the campus Mont Alto, so I was vice president for that. I played basketball, though I wasn't that good at it. I still play basketball. And there's just kind of do different things, plan events for on-campus activities like Halloween and Thanksgiving, things like that for the campus. And then once I went to the main campus, I joined many financial organizations just to make sure that I was being up to par with what was going on at Penn State.
So I know you finished, I'm so proud of you, you finished college and then you decided to do a master's. What did you do? How it has happened? So.
Yes, so when I was at my last semester at Penn State, I was thinking about what am I going to do now after I graduate. And so I decided to enroll at Trinity Washington University to do my master's in business administration. And during that time, during thinking about it, I didn't have a job lined up. So I definitely wanted to just be more marketable. So I decided to go get my master's. And then as soon as I started at Trinity, I started in January. I got my job in February. So it kind of worked out, made me more marketable for this area.
So Talking about the job, the first job that you got it, tell me a little more. Once you got this job, now you tell me about what you're doing now. What is your job now? What is your plans?
Yep. So my first job, once I graduated from Penn State and in my master's program, was working for Paul Public Charter School. So when I first started there, I interned for about 3 months. And after 3 months, I was asked to become full-time because they just needed someone more financially on the ground. And so when I started there, I started as a finance associate. That was my first title after graduating. I was so excited. And so I slowly progressed during my time at Paul. I'm currently still there, so my position has changed over time. I then became the middle school business manager, and now I'm the overall entire school business manager for both middle and high school. So my job title changed 3 times since I've been there.
So during your time in the college, you had the opportunity to share with other women, like young women that are in middle school or high school. What do you tell them about going to college? What do you think is important?
Yep, so prior to going to college, I would say the most important thing is to set up your support system. Knowing who to call when something goes wrong, knowing who to contact when things are not right on campus or financially, just having a very good support system. For me, it was multiple people. It was Alcanzando Metas, it was my mentors from Gear Up, it was my parents, it was my peers, because we all went to school together and we all faced the same challenges. So being able to be in a group of people, not just women, also men, to just kind of support each other while we're going through this process. So that's what I would suggest.
Do you think that being bilingual, speaking Spanish and English, is an advantage for you, or it's been something that you recommended to keep it your main first language or not? So what are you talking about bilingual?
I think that it puts you over the edge compared to someone that's not bilingual. In a world that we're more interculturally connected, it's so many languages. Like English is no longer a normal first language for many people. Being able to learn 2 languages and connect to different cultures just by that, I think puts people above, make them more marketable, while also makes them better people in terms of communicating and that sort of thing with others.
So now your brother, I think your brother is going to college now, no?
Yes, he's done. He graduated already.
So when the people go to college, do you ever feel like, because you were Latina, or were kind of, did you ever feel like this kind of threat about don't be Latina in an environment? So do you have any experience, something to share about your experience being Latina in college?
Yes, so Penn State, my undergraduate experience was a predominantly white school. And so going to a predominantly white school, there were many of us in school. And so I was the only Latina in a group of, I would say mixed. It was white and black students, but I was the only Latina in that group. And every time we went somewhere, it's like, Carla, come, because you can speak Spanish. So it's like different things like that. But yeah, I think it was very different because it wasn't many of me there. So it wasn't too many people that I could connect with specifically that been through the same struggles that my parents have been through, or been through the same struggles that we've been through in DC, just going through a public school system. So I would just say it was just not enough of us there.
But you were open to?
Yeah, I was very open to experiences, very open to, although I was the only Latina there, I did find connections with people that weren't Latina. So, although we didn't come from the same background, we found some similarities in our cultures. And so that definitely led to many conversations, especially me teaching my roommate Spanish or, things like that. So.
Do you have any issues? Sometimes the parents doesn't give the chance to the students to go out of state to go college. Do you have any issues with your parents?
Oh no, my parents let me travel. Like we've traveled since we were very young, since elementary school. And so we travel back and forth to El Salvador so I can visit my grandparents and still be able to connect to that side of me, that cultural side of me. So I've traveled all the time. And then my first year at Penn State, I actually traveled to Jordan to a Women International Leadership Conference, which was done back in high school, the first conference that I attended. So my parents were very open to me going to another country by myself,
Oh, wow.
without them. So they never shut me down from having different kind of experiences.
So is anything else that you would like to share? No, do you have your master's? You have an excellent job. Do you have any other things that you wanted to share?
I would just share, don't be afraid to try something different. That's the only way you'll step outside of your comfort zone. That's the only way you'll get to know the world as how it is and how it works, is when you step outside of your comfort zone. So I would suggest that everyone, Latinas, every woman of color, women of all different ethnic backgrounds, to just try something new and support Alcanzando Metas.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.